Something strange happens after 60. People vanish, not in the dramatic way. It's quieter than that. You scroll through your phone to make a call and realize a name you once spoke to daily is now buried under months of silence. You write a Christmas card list and your pen hovers over a familiar address and you're struck by a sudden jarring thought, do they even live there anymore? It's a slow, subtle erasure, and our first instinct is to feel the sting of it. We see it as a loss, a sign that our world is shrinking, a quiet indictment that whispers, you are being left behind. But what if I told you that this great vanishing act is not a sign of failure? What if it's the clearest, most undeniable proof of your success? What if the growing quiet isn't an emptiness to be feared, but a secret graduation you've earned? Stay with me here, because understanding this changes everything. Here is the truth that took me decades to decode. We think they've left us, but in reality, we have been quietly, unconsciously, and powerfully editing the guest list of our life. And the people who can no longer meet the new entry requirements are simply, peacefully, no longer here. This is not a loss. This is an audit, a profound spiritual accounting that happens when you've finally lived long enough to know what truly costs you and what is absolutely priceless. Before we look at the new guest list, let's be honest about the old one. For most of our lives, the entry policy was generous. The doors were wide open. We let almost everyone in. Why? Because we needed them. Our sense of self was often built from the outside in. We needed the crowd to feel real, to feel valid. We needed the colleague who validated our professional stress. We needed the other parents to confirm the chaos of child rearing was normal. We needed the high-maintenance friend because tending to their drama made us feel needed, useful, kind. We needed the critical relative because we were conditioned to believe that keeping the peace at any personal cost was the noble thing to do. Our guest list was based on proximity, shared circumstances, and social obligation. It was a list built to prove we were good, we were liked, we were connected. We played the role of the gracious host, the peacemaker, the tireless confidant. And that was an exhausting, full-time job. It was the job of a lifetime, but not the joy of a lifetime. And now, the job is over. Your tour of duty as the people pleaser, the fixer, and the emotional caretaker has come to an honorable end. You are retired from that post. And in your retirement, you have, without fanfare, written a new set of entry requirements for your life. The first and most important new requirement is a profound intolerance for emotional noise. Think of your inner world as a beautifully curated, quiet home. For decades, you kept the front door swinging on its hinges. It was an open house policy. But who came in? The drama carrier, arriving with emotional baggage they expected you to carry. The chronic complainer, using your listening ear as a free receptacle for their endless negativity. The subtle critic, leaving tiny poisonous barbs in the cushions of your sofa. The energy vampire, who drank your peace like fine wine and left you with an emotional hangover. Have you ever gotten off the phone with someone and felt heavier, foggier, suddenly and inexplicably exhausted, as if you've just run a marathon you didn't sign up for? That is the tangible cost of emotional noise. Every one of those visits left your beautiful home a little messier, the air thick with psychic static. It took hours, sometimes days, to clean up energetically after they left. But you are not that person anymore. You have walked through too many real fires to have patience for manufactured ones. You have learned in your bones that your peace is not a luxury, it is a vital nutrient. It is the sacred soil from which your health, your joy, your creativity all grow. And so, without even making a conscious decision, you have begun to close the door. You no longer engage in the circular complaint. When the gossip starts, you become a quiet, uninteresting audience. You are simply no longer available for dynamics that drain your life force. You don't have to announce it. You simply stop participating. And so, The people whose entire connection with you was based on that noise, they stop coming by. They rattle the doorknob, find it locked, and move on to find another open house. Your peace makes them uncomfortable. Their disappearance is not a rejection of you. It is a confirmation that your new boundary is holding. The lock on your sanctuary door is working perfectly. The second entry requirement is a fundamental change in frequency. Imagine for most of your life, your soul was broadcasting on a public, high-traffic radio station. It was tuned to the frequency of doing, striving, proving, and accommodating. That old station was a constant buzz of adrenaline and anxiety, a frantic energy that vibrated in your bones. The programming was all about ambition, social climbing, keeping up, and managing perceptions. It was loud, it was busy, and it attracted a large audience who were all tuned to that same chaotic channel. But 60+ years of living, of loving, of grieving, of learning, of failing, of succeeding, have changed your internal hardware. You've grown tired of the shouting hosts and the endless commercials selling things you don't need. You have turned the dial, moving past the static, and found a different station. A clearer, calmer frequency. The frequency of being, of authenticity, of quiet joy, and of deep presence. This new frequency feels different in your body. It is the hum of the earth, not the buzz of the city. It resonates in your chest, a slow, steady vibration of peace. The programming on this new station is different too. It plays the music of birdsong in the morning. It features long, uninterrupted passages of comfortable silence. The conversations are not about what others are doing, but about what you are feeling. It's not about the frantic what's next, but the peaceful what is. The people still listening to the old, loud station literally cannot hear you anymore. The signal doesn't connect. When you speak from a place of being, they hear it as a foreign language. When you share a simple joy, the way the light hits a teacup, the satisfaction of a seed sprouting, it doesn't register on their busy wavelength. It's not personal, it's physics. This drift is not a judgment on them or you. It is a natural consequence of your own spiritual evolution. You have changed your broadcast frequency, and you are now attracting a different audience. Perhaps a smaller one, but an audience that hears your music perfectly. An audience that doesn't need you to be loud to know that you are there. And then there is the third reason for these quiet departures, the one that can feel the most bittersweet. Some people vanish simply because their soul's journey is no longer aligned with yours. Think of your life as a great river, flowing inexorably toward its own unique sea. For long stretches, other boats travel alongside yours. These are the deep, true friendships built on real affection and shared history. You share the journey, navigate the same rapids, shelter from the same storms, and admire the same sunsets. The connection is real, and the love is true. But every river system has tributaries, forks, and diverging paths. It is the nature of rivers. At some point, their soul's journey, their internal map, requires them to take a sharp turn left, while yours is destined to continue straight ahead. Perhaps their new chapter is an all-consuming devotion to grandchildren that fills their every moment and takes them to another state. Perhaps it's a sudden health crisis that demands their full and undivided focus, pulling them inward. Perhaps it's a late-in-life passion that takes them to a new city, a new country, a new world of experience. There is no fault. There is no blame. It is not a personal rejection. It is spiritual geometry. Their path is not wrong, and neither is yours. They are simply different. To demand they stay in your current would be to deny their soul's necessary path, and to abandon your river to follow them down theirs would be to betray your own destiny. And let's be honest, there can be a quiet grief here. This isn't about the draining people. This is about the good ones whose paths have simply diverged. It's okay to feel a pang of nostalgia for the boat that once floated beside you. It's the sweet sorrow of a story that has reached its perfect natural end. It doesn't mean the story wasn't beautiful. It just means it is complete. So what do we do with this powerful, clear-eyed understanding? We can make it a practice, an internal ritual of release and reclamation. Find a quiet moment. Place a hand on your heart. Close your eyes and feel that steady, faithful rhythm that has been the soundtrack to every hello and every goodbye of your life. Bring to mind one of the people who has faded. See their face clearly, with affection, not with the sting of regret. Remember a moment of genuine connection, a shared laugh, a kindness. Let yourself feel the warmth of that specific memory. And then, with the clarity of this new understanding, say to them in the quiet of your own heart, I see now. Our contract is complete. The role we played for each other has been fulfilled beautifully. The lessons have been learned. I bless you on your new path, and I thank you for the part you played on mine. I release you with love and gratitude. Breathe that in. Feel the difference. This is not the grief of abandonment. This is the calm dignity of acceptance. It is finalizing the edit. It is closing the file with gratitude. After you do this, just sit for a moment. Feel the space you have just reclaimed inside yourself. It isn't a void. It's an opening. It's a field ready for new planting. It is your own energy, returned to you. You are not the passive victim of their disappearance. You are the wise author of your own story, acknowledging, with grace, the end of a chapter. The truth is, life after 60 is not about accumulation anymore. It is about distillation. You are no longer building a vast collection of acquaintances. You are an alchemist, standing over the crucible of your life, gently boiling away everything that is not essential, not pure, not true, to discover the potent, concentrated essence of who you are. Your life is not getting smaller. It is becoming more potent. The space around you is not emptiness. It is clarity. It is the sacred, uncluttered space your soul has been craving for decades. The space it needs to finally hear its own voice without the deafening noise of others' expectations and needs. The people who are meant for this distilled, potent chapter of your life will be drawn to your clarity. They will not require you to be anything other than who you are. They will be the ones who can sit with you in companionable silence, who appreciate the profound peace of your sanctuary, who hear the clear, beautiful music of your new frequency. These are the connections of the soul, not of circumstance. The quiet is not a sign that you are alone. It is proof that you are finally, truly in good company, your own. The thinning of the crowd is not an ending. It is the beginning of the most exclusive, beautiful, invitation-only event of your life. And you, finally, are the one at the door, holding the guest list, welcoming in only that which is true.